Hey there DIY coders, welcome to a segment I like to call HTML Quickie. HTML Quickie, I'm going to teach you as fast as possible about a particular thing in HTML while trying to give you a very understandable explanation. And on top of that, if you're feeling a little bit forgetful, HTML Quickie will get you back on track. Alright, so let's hop into it. So what we have here today is something called an image tag. Now, if you've been through my HTML basics tutorial video, you would know what the heck this is. But if you don't know, you can always check in the description below for that sweet basics tutorial on HTML. Alright, no more distractions. Let me give you what you came here for. Alright, so the image tag, there are two attributes, and they are the src attribute, which is also short for source, and the alternative attribute, which is ALT for short. Let's start with the alternative tag, as it's quite the easy one. It serves two purposes, or it can serve two purposes. One is to replace the image if something went wrong with the image somehow when loading up into the browser. The second purpose it can have is to work with screen reader software for the people who are not so good at seeing but are very good with hearing. Now our source attribute, let's say it takes two types of addresses. It takes either a web address or a file address to your image file. Give me one moment, I'll type everything for you real quick, and you'll have a quick example of how everything should turn out. Alright, so we're good here. So let me just show you what's going on in this code. So right now, let's start with the alternative attribute. So we got the alternative of plus sign, minus sign, and another minus sign here. Essentially, that's me explaining that what these pictures are. What we have here is a web address, and what we have here is a absolute file path, and what we have here is a relative file path. So web address, I will not go over how it works. I hope you understand how it works. But essentially all you need to know is that whatever image you're grabbing the image from, just copy the address from the address bar, paste it into the source attribute, and you're good to go. Now in concerns of getting the image from your computer, you would be relying on a file path, either it's absolute or relative. With an absolute file path, you would have the full path that would point towards the image file. Whereas a relative path, often the path would start as a dot and a forward slash, which represents the current folder of this file. In this case, the current folder of this HTML document, which leads to this image file right here, which is also visually seen right here. All right, let's see how it turned out now. All right, so everything works. Now let me show you what happens if something went wrong with loading the image. Let's say we had a typo on every one of the source attribute values. See what happens. And then there we go. We have our placeholder text if something goes wrong with our images. Alright, that's it for image tags. Now before I let you go, I want to refer to you these two websites, iconica.net and pexels.com. These guys are great free image resources. and I use them all the time. Please show your thanks, as these guys do great free work. And that's it for this video. See you on the next one.